Hey guys, sorry about that. Got a phone call and it stopped the videoing process. So now we're on layer number 2. What you see right there is no longer Sharpie type of thing. That's actual ink that's in the skin.
Everything you see here is going to be ink that's deposited on the first layer of skin. So that's just each individual dot for now. And we want to basically just put dots in between each of those dots to make a nice straight line.
Perfect. Again, guys, those of you who are just joining us, it's not painful at all. And again, if you've never had a tattoo and you're really contemplating getting one because you want to get one but you're uncertain of the pain, I can tell you this would be your best option. Especially if you're looking for a cool, funky design, something very even ancient or your own little lines kind of thing. Tribal-licious is what I would call it. Now, I can tell you I have this tattoo here. It was lengthy and painful. The healing process was also tedious, a lot of detail, but this here, I heard that the stick and poke, they better healing, right?
Oh yeah, they'll heal a lot quicker than machine tattoos, and they're just simpler to take care of. Just keep them nice and hydrated. Make sure your skin isn't dry and crispy around the tattoo. And if you ever feel anything flaking off, just don't rip it off. Don't scratch it off. Just put some lotion on there. Make sure it's not alcohol lotion because the alcohol will get into the skin and it will bring the ink up. So make sure it's water-based lotion. But aside from that, that's all you gotta do.
Whoops. So guys, I'm like sitting here chilling. Nathan got some tunes playing and it's an easy process. And much cheaper than tattoos as well, like your average machine tattoo.
Well, it's just a question of parlor versus studio.
Okay.
Individual artists won't really ever charge as much as a parlor because a parlor has to keep up maintenance, has to keep up electrical. You're paying a large portion of what you're paying goes towards keeping the parlor lit, having it getting it the right air conditioning kind of thing. Mm-hmm. This is just my home. So my studio, right. I don't really need all that other stuff. I'm already paying for that stuff with other things.
Perfect.
This is more of a passion thing for me, so I don't worry too much about getting paid too high. Most parlors will charge at least $60 for anything, for like needle touching skin just to take up the time.
Right.
You need to pay about $60 per tattoo.
Right.
I barely charge $40 and up.
Right.
So, the crazier thing though is that many accomplished stick and poke artists will charge actually more than most machine artists because it's a longer process.
Ah, okay.
So if you go to a parlor for a stick and poke tattoo, most likely it'll be up in the 150 kind of thing.
Right, because the process is so meticulous and you're doing it really freestyle.
Yeah, you have a lot of you have to have a lot of control, a lot of strength, and a lot of endurance for it because it makes your arm tense. I mean, when you're going in a million times a second, it does quite tire you out quite a bit. Mm-hmm. So we're just gonna work on it piece by piece. Make sure that the outer circle is nice and defined. So we're gonna wash this away first, and then because we already set up these other lines and the other pokes nice and strong, and they're in there, I don't have to worry about the lining coming off when I wipe it with ink or with isopropyl alcohol. Mm-hmm. If we had just left everything Sharpie, then we wouldn't be able to see any of this stuff. It would all be wiped away. Mm. If you see any bleeding is normal, especially in the fleshier areas. You have more blood, so things like that, where it gets a little red, that will be pretty common. So you see how that's drastically different? That line, you can tell it's very different from these. That's because it's...
This is the first layer?
That's the first layer.
And that's the second?
That's the second layer. So we're going to do a third layer on this circle, and we're going to make it look nice, straight, and lined.
Perfect. Now, guys, just to let you know, this is the third layer that Nathan is putting on that line right now. And I don't feel agitated. I don't feel like, oh my gosh, you're going back over that line. It really, and it doesn't go numb either. There's just a very little poking sensation.
Yep. If you're feeling too much pain, if it really starts to sting, there can be two things. Either one, that's it's getting closer to an area that's more sensitive. So, if, for example, when you're doing your wrist, it won't hurt as much here as it will here.
Okay.
But if it's not that, and if it's all in the same area, like your calf, then you might want to ask your artist to be a little bit less heavy-handed, because the deeper it goes, the more painful it is. Some artists will be very heavy-handed, and they'll basically poke in quite deep. You don't need to poke in that deep. A lot of artists, they poke in deep, and they don't really have to. It's a question of how they, for example, like how you write. Like if you're writing with a pencil, some people will write so strongly that they'll break the lead off the pencil. That person would be a very heavy-handed tattoo artist. As long as you can feel the skin being lifted up when you poke, then you're doing it right. If you listen closely, I'll turn off the music, you can actually hear the skin popping up and down. Pop, 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 that kind of thing. And that's how you know you're making it deep enough.
Yeah, see, I don't even feel that. That right there, just very light. Feels like a feather.
Yeah, some people describe it, actually my sister, when I was doing her foot, described it as more ticklish than painful.
Right, yes.
Which is a nice thing to feel and to think about when you're, especially if you're worried about the pain with tattoos. A lot of people that come to me are very worried about the pain that they're going to feel when they get tattooed, and the second that they start getting poked, they don't feel anything. They don't feel any pain at all. They don't worry about it too much. With a machine, it's also very intimidating. I mean, you walk in there, it's a nice parlor. Even if the person looks great and looks nice and they're all kind to you, the second they turn on that machine, it's and that really starts to scare you.
Definitely.
I mean, it's not hard to be scared by a machine, by knowing that that machine that's making that noise is going into your skin. I mean, similarly, yesterday I tattooed a good friend of mine, and she was intimidated by the length of the needle. But it's actually really only this part that I use.
Okay.
And just that little bit at the end. That's actually all I use.
Okay.
This is just for me to hold the grip.
Ah, okay. It does look like a long needle. So again, guys, those of you just tuning in, this is stick and poke tattoo. The process is not very painful.
Alright, should we put the third layer done?
Alright, the third layer around the rim is done, and I'm getting the fifth chakra. I would suggest and highly recommend that if you're getting any tribal tattoos, definitely try to do it through stick and poke. Nathaniel's number will be left in the caption on YouTube, and also I'm going to do it later on through this video. You guys can contact him. His prices are reasonable. His talent is very creative.
Alright, that's going to be your outer line.
Perfect.
All right, now we're going to move on to the center
All right.
and get to those dots.
All those dots.
Nice.
For those of you just joining, this is a stick and poke tattoo. Not as painful as regular machine tattoo. Actually pretty painless, as you can see. I'm just sitting here videoing. Great for tribal tattoos. Right now I'm getting the 5th chakra. Hey Tammy, I just saw your comment here on Facebook Live. It does not hurt at all. I'm so surprised. And I did a little research on it before I came. I looked on YouTube and I was like, oh my gosh, what am I doing? I got here and it doesn't even feel like pins and needles when your leg is going to sleep. It doesn't even feel like that. It's pretty painless. I know it just looks like, I mean, how could it be painless, right? But it truly is. Much better process than the gun with the tool, tattoo tool. It's called stick and poke, and it's the oldest way of doing tattoos in the world, and you guys can also get one done too. Nathan does it from his studio, downtown Toronto, Cabbagetown. Very relaxing atmosphere. It's looking good. That is looking good, Nathan. Gee, look at this young cat, guys. Young guys today. I'm telling you, the millennials. They know what time it is.
That's what I'm liking to hear.
That's what? That's what you're
That's what I
looking?
like to hear.
Yeah, right? For those of you just joining, that is the 5th chakra. Oh my gosh, I might not get all the chakras. I might just do something like what you've done to your arm,
Yeah.
and get all the special things like my Jupiter, because I'm a Sagittarius. Get a Sagittarius around it.
That would be
I
cool.
picked 5 because I'm the 5th chakra.
Ooh, you know what'd be
Right.
really cool? If you
What's
made
that?
this the sun
Yeah.
and you did the solar system around.
Oh my gosh. Yes, you could do that on my leg.
It could be possible, yeah.
All
I mean,
right.
it might interfere with
The other one over
this
there.
stuff, but
Okay.
we can figure it out when we get there.
All right. Yeah. All right. Just created a peace idea. Yeah, because why would I put the other chakras on me if they're meaningless, right? Even though this is placed perfectly, guys, we placed it perfectly like that because we were going to do 1 chakra, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 type of thing. I mean, 6, 7. There's 7 main ones, but I'd rather my Jupiter on there and Sagittarius symbol.
I've done the Sagittarius symbol quite a few times.
You have?
Yeah.
Sagittarians are crazy. We love our tattoos. All right, yeah. Let's work on that for sure. And also, guys, I have a tattoo down here that says she walks in peace, and it's drying. Not drying, sorry. It's coming off a little bit.
It's fading away.
It's fading. There we go. And Nathan said that he can work on that for me as well. So that's exciting. I'm going to come on your next free day.
All right.
And I'll get something else done on this here, and then we can darken in the words too. I'm leaving for the DR, for Dominican Republic, in 3 weeks.
Yeah, I'm going to be leaving soon as well.
Are you?
I'm leaving at the end of July.
That's when I'm leaving. So hopefully we can get some work
done,
yeah. Where are you going?
I'm taking my motorcycle from here to Vancouver to San Francisco, and then San Francisco to the southern peak of America.
Southern peak of America.
So, past Santiago, Chile, past through Patagonia, and then all the way to the bottom.
Your motorcycle?
Yeah.
All by yourself?
Yep.
Oh, you're amazing, dude.
Some people don't use the word amazing. Some use the word crazy, but...
Right? Crazy people don't use the word crazy. We use, that's awesome. Are you gonna be putting everything on YouTube? Not on YouTube, on Instagram?
Instagram for sure, yeah. I'll be making a bunch of posts, probably doing some tattoos down there, doing some photography. But I'm also making a film because the point is I'm reaching out to a bunch of different organizations, and I'm gonna ask them to give me funding so that I can make this film, enter it into some contests, and maybe do something with that. If it turns out well, then I want to help raise money for disabled children, especially in South America. The idea is the film is I'm gonna interview and go to a bunch of different hospitals, and my friend is meeting up with me there on his motorcycle, and we're gonna talk to a bunch of, hopefully talk to hospitals and shelters and places like that for disabled people, and then show them that doing that kind of stuff is possible. Because my friend, he was born without a left hand.
Oh, okay.
So he has his fingers. I'm not sure what it's called, but basically he.
So he has no palm, no palm. Okay.
But he's gonna be riding with me. Like he's gonna be riding his own motorcycle, which is an automatic and has no clutch.
Perfect for him.
And it's gonna basically just trying to show these kids and everyone that you shouldn't tell yourself or allow yourself to be told you can't do something just because it seems crazy. I mean, there's so many kids that I graduated high school just this year, and there's so many kids in my grade that were like, oh, I wish I could do that trip with you. I wish I could do something like that. And then I asked them, why not? And their answer is like, oh, well, I can't. And I'm like, that's not an answer.
That's right.
Or they say, my parents aren't letting me. Well, you're an adult now. You're allowed to do what you want.
Right. And how old are you again? 18? 18. Guys, this dude right here is only 18. Look at this. Doing stick and poke tattoos, taking his motorcycle all the way around. And so what gave you the inspiration aside from that and everything? I mean, how come you just didn't fly down there?
Well, because half of it is the journey. I'm spending 8 months. I'm doing 8 months of traveling. So it's going to be stopping every few days in places and staying there for a few days, experiencing the area, I mean, I'm going to be spending a lot of time on the West Coast, and I want to learn how to surf because I have never been able to surf. I live on the East Coast, so there's no waves here.
Right.
I want to learn how to surf. I've never surfed before, so I'm going to be on the West Coast. I'm going to be in California. I'm going to be in Vancouver, so it's going to be perfect. I have a lot of opportunities to surf. I'm going to be passing through Big Sur, which is going to be amazing. And then hopefully by the time I get to Mexico and South America, I'll be a good surfer or good enough surfer and be able to ride some of the big waves down there.
Awesome.
I'll be doing some climbing in Yosemite as well, and then just the idea of being able to travel on a motorcycle. I mean, it's such a drastically different way to travel. I mean, in a car, you're basically just sitting around. I mean, you might as well just be surrounded by screens and just being teleported to the location because you don't experience the area you're in. You see it, but it flies past you. You don't smell it. You don't hear it. You don't feel the sun on your skin.
Right.
And the wind, like blowing through your clothes and your hair and all that stuff. On a motorcycle, you do. You experience it. And also at the same time, you're also more vulnerable, which is a huge component to experiencing a place and experiencing an environment. So that's the plan.
You're such an old soul. What's your sign?
No clue.
Oh.
I don't know. I never really looked into it.
When's your birthday?
April 21st.
Oh, Taurus. Well, you're the cusp. You're Aries. But that's good that you never looked into it. You don't need to know it. You don't need to live your life by it.
What's specific about Tauruses? I'm speaking to a specialist, so I might as well ask.
Well, Taurus, I would call you a cusp, an Aries Taurus. But Taurus is definitely someone who is, my son is a Taurus actually, one of my favorite signs. And they tend to be in their own heads. They tend to be very creative, very straightforward, great business people, very passionate, but they enjoy family, but they enjoy their alone time quite a lot too.
I can definitely agree with that. I do like my alone time.
Oh yeah?
I value it just as much as my time with people.
Awesome. That's good for a young cat. Usually 18-year-olds can't find enough time with their friends, right?
I mean, don't get me wrong, I love spending time with my friends. It's just sometimes it's a lot. Sometimes I need to, sit in my room, think. Okay, so for the fill, for right here, the actual sign, we're going to move on to a different size needle.
Okay.
It's going to be a 7 RL, which means round liner. And that means it's just going to be 7 needles attached to each other.
Perfect. And those of you who are just joining in, I'm getting a tattoo done by Nathan, and it is called a stick and poke tattoo. It's very painless, and it lasts just as long as a regular tattoo. I don't even like to say regular, but your average tattoo, right? This is the oldest process in the world, and it's just as it is, stick and poke. I'm getting the 5th chakra.
If you ever want to know what size your needles that are being used on you are, the number right there, that is going to be the date, the length, and that's the number of needles, and that's the type of needle. So 7 needles, round liner.
Oh, okay.
And that's what I'm going to be using for the larger lines and for the fill.
Perfect. And just now you were using 5.
5 RL, yeah.
Okay. And 5 was for the out and stuff like that. But this is going to be a little thicker right here, guys. That right there. So.
And I'll be going over everything as well. Just wanted to make sure everything gets done first.
Perfect. So wait, you're leaving in 3 weeks, 7 months.
8 months.
8 months. Oh gosh, yeah, we got to get some work done before that. Oh my gosh, you'll be gone for 8 months, guys. Make sure that you keep that in mind. Now this is painless, guys. Well, for me it's painless. Like, it just feels like little pokes. Those ladies out there who have had Botox or any type of filler or anything, I'm pretty sure it's way more painful than this. those of you who had tattoos before, for sure, this is less painful. I really like this a lot. And for those of you just joining again, I see some people joining in here. This is the 5th chakra. The 5th chakra is very meaningful to me because all the days in my birthday add up to a number 5 in numerology. And the 5th chakra is the blue chakra. It represents the throat chakra. And for those of you who don't even know what chakras are, they are kind of like invisible energy holes in your body. You know, we have our nose holes, we have our ears, our ear holes and stuff of that nature. Well, we also have energy where we release negative energy and we accept positive energy. And they say that in spirituality, the 5th chakra helps us to express ourselves verbally and helps us to express ourselves intuitively as well. There's 7 main chakras that go up the spine, and there's other chakras within the body, but one that you might be more familiar with would be the third eye. If you've ever heard of the third eye, that is actually a chakra, and it is the chakra between the 2 eyebrows. It is called the 7th chakra. The 7th. Yes, no, the 6th. The 6th chakra.
That's pretty cool. Got my 6th chakra right there.
Oh, yeah. Show me again so I can show them. There we go. The third eye.
I actually did this same tattoo on my brother's wrist. Well, at least an eye on my brother's wrist.
I love that.
Yeah. And did the Basquiat crown as well.
Oh, nice.
Huge fan of Basquiat.
Oh, really?
I have the crown on my foot.
Ah. You did that, obviously.
Yeah,
for
that was really hard. I'm gonna get it redone by myself, of course, but I'm gonna do I'm gonna redo it because it's a little bit spotty. There's a little bit of space in between each dots.
Oh, that's fine. Looks good though.
Yeah, huge fan of Basquiat. Like, I love Basquiat.
Oh, good for you.
And I'm really into like the old street art and graffiti art of the 80s and 90s.
Oh, yeah?
Massive fan of Keith Haring as well.
You're such an old soul. Holy macro.
This is actually a limited.
Oh, very nice.
My brother worked at the Keith Haring gallery for a while.
Oh, I know a guy with a tattoo
Yeah.
like this right here. Yeah.
They're actually very popular tattoos because they're really good.
Very
for
nice.
Yep.
You're an old soul, dude.
Definitely
Have you ever
would
been
say
told that before?
I have never been told that before, but I do consider myself an old soul.
Yeah. You're a different type.
Hugely into nature. I'm not a massive fan of like the city and all this like technological crap. Sometimes I just like to revert, go simpler, hence the single needle.
Right. So let me ask you this then. How long is it going to take you on your motorcycle to get out west?
Just west?
Yeah.
To Vancouver, about 2 weeks.
2 weeks. Whoa. And that's going to be all by yourself? And that's including like what, Airbnbs or
I'm
hotels?
I'm
camping.
I'm basically I'm trying to get together like maybe $10,000 so that I can do the trip, but that's like minimum. Like that's like if I'm camping it every time I go to sleep, every time I make a stop, I'll camp out. I'll find a campground because even Airbnbs, even hostels are expensive.
Yes.
If you're spending $5 every single day on a hostel over 2 months or 8 months, that can come up to a few $100s.
Right.
So by saving that, you kind of you allow yourself to lengthen your trip by at least a month. So, camping wherever I can.
Perfect. And in Ontario, camping, make sure you look out for Sasquatches.
Of course.
Let me know.
I will. Okay.
Looking fabulous, guys. So you're going to be doing a lot of tattooing then before you leave?
Hopefully. I mean, wherever I can get tattoo clients, and then wherever I can tattoo myself as well. But I do want to keep some of my needles for the trip because I can tattoo people along the way if they're interested,
and
or
make money en route.
Money en route, exactly.
That's right. So guys, he's leaving the end of July. Make sure you get your mind together, get your ideas, thoughts together for tattoos or whatever. $10,000 goes a long way.
Yeah, I'm actually working for Uber Eats as well. I'm working 3 jobs right now.
The Cycle Solutions still? Okay.
Cycle Solutions, I'm working Uber Eats. When I'm not working at Cycle Solutions, I'm working 15-hour days.
15-hour days? Where?
At Uber Eats. Basically, I start at about 7 o'clock in the morning, and I ride until 10 o'clock at night.
On your motorcycle?
On my bike.
On your bike?
Yeah, I basically deliver food.
For 15 hours a day, straight?
Straight. Yeah.
And what is Uber Eats like to deliver for? Like, is it lucrative if you stick with it, kind of thing?
It's worse than minimum wage, but
worse than minimum wage.
But because it is contract work, so they don't have to give you minimum wage. But the advantage is that I get to choose my hours, which means that legally a place of business, or just generally a place of business, will only be open from I'd say latest or earliest 7, and it will probably close at the latest 10, and that's not necessarily enough hours at minimum wage to make the money I need to be making. So if I work at Uber Eats, I can get lower than minimum wage, but basically just hustle all day, and make more money than I would normally. Additionally, if I'm working at Cycle Solutions, I start at at the earliest I'll start at 8, the latest I'll finish at 8 again, or sometimes 6 on weekends. Afterwards, I can just hop on my bike and keep making money. And then in between, like what I'm doing right now, I can tattoo. Literally, I'm not kidding. When I finish, I'm going out and I'm doing Uber Eats.
Uber Eats.
Yeah.
Wow.
Just have to be constantly working, because if I don't, I can't make the trip.
Good for you.
But aside from that, Uber Eats honestly isn't that bad. In terms of jobs, I actually prefer it to Cycle Solutions, and I actually prefer it even though I'm not making as much money, because I get to choose where I want to go.
Right.
I get to choose whether to accept an offer or not.
Right.
I get to listen to music.
Right.
And I'm my own, technically my own boss.
Yes.
And I absolutely prefer that to being told what to do.
I agree. I work for myself as well. And
right on.
That's why I can, have my laptop, have my laptop, chill out, come here during the afternoon to get a stick and poke. Good for you, though. I mean, so are you going to get your movie put on Netflix?
I mean, depends. It'll be more of a documentary, but we'll see what happens. Hopefully, I'm going to enter it into TIFF, a bunch of different small film festivals, depending on how well it does or how poorly it does. We'll see what happens. I just want to make something to put out there. And if people like it, they like it. If they don't,
I'm sure they'll love it. With an old spirit like you and the talent you have and the drive and also the meaning behind your trip. And all the fun things that you're going to do on the way, camp and tattoo and... That's
going to be nuts. And just thinking about what I'm doing. I mean, surfing, climbing, riding alpaca. We're going to be going into the ocean. We're going to be doing hikes, tons of stuff. And we'll just see what happens. It's more of just a film whenever I film. Whatever I do, I'll film, and then that happens. Because I don't like people who in documentaries, I don't like the idea of a documentary where going out expecting a certain kind of shot or expecting a certain kind of story. You should just be shooting, going to a place that's interesting, and then figuring out the rest once you get there.
Yes. I like this one show on Netflix that I watched. 3 guys went away and they spent $1 a day somewhere. I think it was in like Guatemala or something. And it just was a cool, unplanned type of documentary.
Yeah, that to me is amazing.
Yeah.
And I think it opens up the way for a lot better of an experience if you're not expecting something. First of all, if you're not expecting something, you can never have your expectations dashed. That's the first thing. And second, if you keep your expectations at a minimum, then whatever happens is instantly amazing. It's instantly better than what you were expecting. So you always have fun.
That's so true.
Yeah.
Under expect, over imaginate.
Exactly. Okay, I'm going to clean up the larger line,
Okay.
this guy, and then we're going to be done.
All right. This tattoo's so me.
Okay. We'll wipe it off, put some Vaseline on it, and we should be done.
All right. So guys, on a scale of 1 to 10, I would say painless. I wouldn't even be able to give it any type of pain rating. Really a 1. And in terms of everything else, it's good to go. Look, it looks just like your average tattoo that you would get at a parlor. But even better, because it's all freehand and, you know. Aww.
It's something to be able to say that you got a tattoo done by hand or freehand or hand poke.
I love it. I love it. So now when I come back and get some artwork, I just want to show I love this. Like I love all that and all this, and that's kind of what I want around here. With Sag somewhere and sun, moon, stars or whatever. Something like that. So
No problem.
say hi. Let's give your number again.
647-889-9427. Just text me whenever.
All right. And Instagram.
Nathan__Attal. So that's ATTAL.
All right. Awesome.
Check out my stuff.
All right.